I mean, it is root beer with some sweet stuff, and I guess you could say it's kind of creamy. But
gets weirder with every sip.
well, look, if you want me to water it down with some Captain Morgan, that's fine.
Yeah,
too.
let's try to put some water in there, see what happens.
That is how we roll on this podcast. Just no, it's fine. Water that down with some Captain Morgan. It'll be fine.
Grown-up, human, comic, people! Grown-up, human, comic, people!
Condensation on the mic diaphragm.
Welcome to Volume 2, Episode 46 of Grown-Up Human Comic People. We are back. In the room, let's go around and introduce everybody who's here. So, to my left, Chris. J-Man. Greg.
Greetings.
I thought you were going to do it, too.
No, I'm not going to do it. Because, I mean...
Why?
Yes, please.
Not why. No, well primarily because I think it's kind of dumb. But also, I just...
Greg, just do it.
It's I'm not going to do it.
Just do it one time.
I'll do it. I'll tell you, I can do it safely. Watch me. Watch off-axis.
Just do it one time.
That's safe.
Dan.
I'm not wrong. It's still kind of dumb. But yeah.
It's definitely dumb.
My name's Jared. Welcome to the show.
When I started doing this like 8 months ago, that's exactly what I wanted. Eventually, just everybody to just start doing it.
Okay, so no more of that. Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, you can find us at grownuphumans.com, epicastnetwork.com/grownuphumans. Make sure to rate and review us on your various podcasting apps or whatever. It helps our visibility, and we would appreciate it. So just do that. Make sure to check us out on all the social medias, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. Grown Up Human Comic People. Also, just a reminder, make sure to contact us in whatever way you choose. You can email us at grownuphumans@gmail. If you want to send in an Ask Jer, we are always willing to do those. The J-Man can fix all your problems, guaranteed.
Yeah, except that one time.
That was great.
Those were loaded questions.
Yeah, that wasn't fair. It wasn't. Yeah, essentially that was like a plant in the audience.
Yeah,
like
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that wasn't fair. Shout out to Dave Brazy for that. So we're sponsored by Southside Comics down at 1931 East Carson Street. Go and get all your comic books down there. Say hi to Dan for us. He'll be on the show at some point. And go to radicaltrivia.com if you want to go to some fun live trivia events around Pittsburgh. We will provide that for you. It's lots of fun, and you can drink, and I will swear at you, and that's about it's free. So, yeah. Check out Midnight Rose. We're actually playing a show the day before Thanksgiving, which... Will this come out before that?
It'll come out on that.
It'll come out. Oh, yeah.
So
today,
yeah.
Make sure to go out to the Oaks Theater at 8 o'clock. It'll be Midnight Rose, Little Good Bad. We got Dave Bracy hosting, so it'll be a fun show. It's $10, so come out. The Oaks is a great venue.
Derek's hosting.
No, Derek couldn't do it, so Dave's going to do it.
It still shows Derek.
I know.
I changed it today.
We're gonna. Yeah.
Did you
already do it?
I changed it on the. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Anyway, so check out the show at the Oaks on the night before Thanksgiving.
We're hoping for
Eve.
a really drunk crowd.
Yes,
like if
come
you
and
want
get
to
drunk
get
as
drunk,
fuck.
come. We want to party with the animals. Like,
yes,
we want it to be like just.
It's the night before Thanksgiving. Who else is going to be out there?
I know.
Yeah.
I'm encouraging that a lot. Like this is a place that's going to embrace that. Like
yes.
if you want to come out and get drunk, but you don't want to worry about people being bitches about it and
Yep.
you getting too rowdy.
Yep.
Not here.
Yep. Get yourself an Uber to the Oaks and Uber home.
There's going to be colored lights everywhere, all sorts of music. It's going to be just...
There might be lasers.
There might be lasers if they
fucking
come in
lasers.
time.
Yeah. They arrive at time.
Oakmont gets down. A handful of years ago, I was in Oakmont at the Oakmont Tavern it was the night before Thanksgiving too, and I'm sitting down in the bottom.
You made it sound like a movie. The night before Thanksgiving too.
Also, and they have this balcony. And people were getting so fucked up, and this wasn't like your normal South Side bro crowd. These were like people's parents.
Oh yeah,
like getting fucking wasted. And I am arguably, like, presumably somewhere around the youngest person there.
Oh yeah,
who's like also like somewhere around like not nearly as fucked up as everyone else. So people are getting it in so hard. I'm sitting down in the lower part. And all of a sudden, I get smacked with like 2 fucking beers. And I look up and realize like somebody had assaulted me with beers from the fucking balcony in Oakmont and then ran off.
Or more likely, they set their beer on the railing and accidentally bumped them.
No. It was like I was at it wouldn't have worked that way. I wasn't underneath. I was at like roughly a 45-degree angle.
Like cans of beer or glasses of beer?
No, not glasses. It was like cups, like plastic cups in a can.
Okay.
And so I'm fucking really pissed off. So I run up the stairs to like find out who did it. And it's like a bunch of people my parents' age. I'm like, you guys did that. You guys fucking threw beer at me.
Some asshole.
And they looked like they all just got off their yacht or something, They looked put together. So you start accusing them.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? They'll all laugh at you. The cops will laugh at you too.
The worst kind of bully is like an old person bully. Because what the fuck do you say to that person?
Right.
It's like, grow up, man. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They know that they're doing something immature and shitty.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can say to them.
No, what you say to them is, how old are you, sir? And then when they start talking, be like, I think you're old enough to know better.
Damn. You've been a manager somewhere before.
That's so good, yeah.
Perhaps you've met assistant manager of Dairy Queen, Chris Cable.
That was the first day.
That was the first day. Yeah.
First day, Jesus Christ.
No, it was the first week. Like the first day, I was just stoned out of my mind.
So after a month, you owned that place, right?
Oh man, I remember my first day when I went in and I finally admitted to them that I was stoned out of my mind because I smoked a blunt and walked in the rain 2 miles to get there, and they were like, "Oh, dude, you should probably eat some food. Like, you're way too high to work at Dairy Queen right now." So,
well, that's pretty.
First time that's ever been said.
Yeah. And I went in and they were like, "Just go make yourself whatever." So I grilled 4 beef patties and I fried a fried chicken patty, and then I said, "Do you guys have bacon?" And they were like, "Yeah, probably." And the bacon comes in these discs. It seems real bacon, but it's already cooked, so you just put it on the flat top and you just heat it up. That's it. So I just did that until I ran out of bacon to put on the flat top. So just so you're keeping tabs here.
You used all the bacon they had.
4 beef patties, about 6 to 8 pieces of bacon.
Bacon discs.
Bacon discs. That is the size of a bacon. The burger patty.
Is this strip bacon or disc bacon?
Disc bacon. Definitely. And I know because I've thrown it like a frisbee, and it glides. A
Disc bacon,
frozen
drum bacon.
deep fried chicken patty.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 pieces of bread. And 1 very small slice of tomato. I remember that because it was the only tomato they had there.
Well, you got to be healthy.
Well, I ate a bite of it, and I said, "It's just not. It's not what I wanted it to be." And they were like, "You should put chili on that."
And you were like, "I think we're all too high to be working at Dairy Queen right now."
Oh, they were high too.
Of course.
Everybody was high.
I've never had regular food at a Dairy Queen.
It's
delicious.
not bad, actually.
Yeah. Honestly, in all my Dairy Queen stories, it's my favorite fast food burger joint. And I think most people, when they have it, nobody ever disagrees with me. Everyone's like, you know what? You're right. That is the best fast food, at least on the East Coast, because we don't have Whataburger and we don't have
In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out Burger.
I don't know. I think that I don't know. I like Rallies a lot.
Where do you
used
get
to
it,
We
though?
used to have rallies. We don't like there's
Yeah.
Ohio if you go to Ohio. And then also
Are they still only in the ghetto in Ohio too?
kind of yeah. We only had them in the ghetto places like Northside
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Cheers.
in Homewood.
So Greg has prepared us
Yeah,
a
I wanna
specialty drink here. So let's tell
Not
cheers.
me,
So he
I'm
didn't cheers at
diabetic,
the beginning
I'll
of it.
die.
Yeah, Chris can't have any. Cheers.
Cheers.
We got chocolate cake later that Chris can't have as well. This is a fuck Chris Gable night. That's what this was.
Isn't it always a fuck Chris Gable night?
Pretty much. It's very good. Thank you, Greg.
You're quite welcome.
Ugh.
I also appreciate you trying to make one for me, Greg.
Oh yeah, no problem.
That's-
Did you not like it, Daniel?
It
It's okay
tastes
to
like
not like it.
tastes like
I like it.
root beer with sweet cream.
Well, it's
Almost what
I
it
thought you were going to say corn. It tastes like root beer with sweet corn.
Because I'm not familiar with sweet corn. Those different varieties of corn. Root beer and sweet corn.
well, yeah. It's I mean, it is root beer with some sweet stuff, and I guess you could say it's kind of creamy. But
Gets weirder with every sip.
well, look, if you want me to
don't think Greg
water
Pop-
it down with some Captain Morgan, that's fine.
Yeah,
too.
let's try to put some water in there, see what happens.
That is how we roll on this podcast. Just no, it's fine. Water that down with some Captain Morgan. It'll be fine.
So, we all...
Maybe
this
a
is
little bit more than that.
Really?
If you're listening to this, you should be jealous of the things that we do.
You should be.
Say when.
That's probably good. Just a couple ounces in there. Let's try it now.
There we go.
Anybody else want some of this?
Let me knock mine down a little first. I'll have one.
Oh, that's much better.
Is it?
Oh yeah, that's it.
I'll try it like that as well.
So, this is a Justice League movie podcast.
Yeah. Let's just get the fuck into this because like we're
let's-
going to talk about Justice League right
Well,
now.
I gotta say, here's how I want to start off.
Well, actually, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
just,
that's okay.
just because I'll probably totally forget to do this. So, by the way, all of you out there, it is now November 22nd, or just past the middle of November. Go get yourself some eggnog. Best brand is Southern Comfort. I feel comfortable saying that now because I already bought 8 of them. So, so I'm good. But get that, and then root beer. Some of your root beer, which you already have some because you're a human being. But put those together in a glass. Oh, heck, 50-50 ratio. You're welcome. It's like an instant root beer float.
I think you should go a little bit more eggnog. This time you went like a little. You went 50. I don't think you went 50-50 last time.
I'll do this.
Yeah,
I'll bring it back over.
go a little bit more.
So,
eggnog.
but I'm
I think
interested.
that's
What's the
the way to
benefit to use an eggnog over some vanilla ice cream?
It's quicker. Plus,
Greg is addicted to this, and he can't wait for the ice cream to melt.
Oh,
Plus-
yeah. No, he
yeah.
fucking
Plus he
loves
loves eggnog,
eggnog.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg loves eggnog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah.
yeah.
I Chris had a party. What did I show up with?
Eggnog.
Yeah.
You were so excited. You're like, can I bring eggnog? He asked me.
Also, the other day when Greg brought this over the other day, and we posed the question, "What the fuck is eggnog?"
Dude, it's
It's
just
egg and nog, dude.
Yeah.
duh.
Yeah, just look at the ingredients. It's just an egg. Nog.
I mean, it used to be, it's something that is more commercialized now, but it used to be like a lot of drinks actually had raw eggs in it. I mean,
but it's
that's
just egg whites, right?
yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I don't think the yolk is used in most, or if any. I don't know. Without honestly looking it up on Wikipedia, I'm not going to be able to say it right now, but that used to be something, and an eggnog is something that was much more traditional. Just like what is the New York what is it? Like not a cream soda, but a and it's like it's usually like a soda and like an egg and a cream and something all mixed up.
Oh, like an Italian soda.
Yeah,
An
but
Italian soda is
an Italian soda is cream and soda. There's something else though. It's something that's very popular in New York is where it started, and
a Manhattan.
I'm sure it's super obvious. No, there's no alcohol in it.
Is that because Italian men are so sexually aggressive? they're like that's what I made this drink. It's a soda with some cream in it. Oh, cream! Call it Italian soda. Those guys like cream a lot. Sorry, I don't know. Let's
It
move
was
on.
just I don't know where that went.
I don't know. I'm in a weird place right now. Let's talk about Justice League.
All right, so Justice League. So we all saw it, and I got to say first off, how good was Thor?
Yeah, man. Thor was
Thor
pretty
was
great.
great.
Yeah, it was great. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go see it.
Go
twice.
see Thor.
Go see it twice. Jeff Goldblum
On our Justice League podcast, go see Thor Ragnarok. Wow, what a good movie.
I'm not going to say not to go see Justice League, but I will go. I will say that if you haven't seen Thor, you should definitely see it before you see Justice League.
I'm going to say don't see Justice League.
Yeah.
Make sure these people make no money and that they're poor and their kids are poor and that
Yeah.
they have to go to a bread line in Russia.
That's a. All
If
right.
you keep,
Sorry, go
if
ahead.
you keep going to see this stuff, they're going to keep making it.
Yeah, I guess because it's.
Yeah,
No,
bankrupt.
it's just like Pizza Hut makes a bunch of different weird kinds of fucking pizza, and everybody's gonna try because it's like, oh, check out that pizza. It's got this weird shit on it. Well, we should just try one. We'll just try one, you know. And then you go and you try, and you're like, oh, fuck that. Then they just put a new weird fucking pizza on the menu. A bunch of people try that. They make their money back. They make some money on it, and then it just fuels this fucking weird pizza thing.
Yeah.
This is like, they know the people who like comics are gonna go see it.
Oh yeah.
Like it could be
Definitely.
garbage.
Yeah.
But that said, I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
Like I did not hate it. In fact, that opening sequence with
was good.
The
It
yeah,
was.
with the Leonard Cohen cover. Everybody knows, man. That was like maybe one of the best covers I've heard. Definitely this year.
Yeah.
And that opening sequence was really like moving in a way that I didn't get during Thor. You know, I didn't feel like
Sure. Yeah, I'd say that's just because that's a different kind of movie, though. Like Thor, like no, there are almost no parts in Thor that are meant to be like emotionally like. There are a couple maybe, but like
Right.
there's not really heavy hitting. It's essentially a comedy.
right.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't bad. I agree with you. It was kind of effective. Zack Snyder's good at like opening montages. Because in Watchmen, that's a pretty good one where it plays the times they are changing. And it shows like the whole history of the superheroes of that.
Oh yeah, that was a
age.
cool sequence.
Like
yeah.
them getting killed and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
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 So he's good at that. Like, I think it's a strength of his. Not so much like I don't know, portraying women characters well. Or something like that.
I was trying to pay attention in the end credits, and I forgot to by the time I got to that part in the movie. But in the beginning of the movie, I meant to pay attention at the end to see who did that cover, because it did like I think it was sequenced well and everything in the way that what you're talking, the way that you were saying. But I don't know. It's like we talked recently about singers who do the whole faux
slow it down and play it acoustically.
and like enunciating all the R's.
It's called emo. What's it called? Emo girl voice, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it's basically what it was. Yeah,
Or hipster emo voice, something like that.
yeah.
It sounded like Lord.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it
Like if
sounded
Lord,
like.
if Lord said there's a video. It was it's a really short like little whatchamacallit, a vine, almost like a vine.
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds. It's this dude saying bananas and avocados, but it's him saying it like that. He's like avocados and bananas, and it's fucking nails it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to describe that, whatever that accent is, but that's what we're all
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
It's fucking annoying. Stop doing that.
So
Yeah.
it had some of that in there. You got to admit, it did have some of that in there.
The song?
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, maybe I have a higher tolerance for it
That
than
probably
you do,
that may
or maybe that for me it was just that opening sequence was so good that it didn't even. Maybe if I heard that song on its own, I'd be like, this is fucking garbage. But
I think Greg might have a lower tolerance for musical bullshit than I do. That's saying something.
I mean that's fair. That's fair. Greg's like a Michelin chef, and I'm like a guy who drinks eggnog and root beer.
I'm that guy. I drink it. No.
He's the guy who invents drinking eggnog and root beer.
Yeah, I got to name this fast before somebody else does, and then I'm like, but no. That's my idea.
Eggnog.
Oh, damn it! No, that's exactly. I was inhaling to say that. Fuck.
Greg
God damn
Nog. Yeah.
That's we just recorded 2 people having the exact same idea at the same fucking
Dude, I
time.
thought that was so stupid that no one would say it. That's why I said it.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah,
half a
like
second
I was
behind
just
you.
like, it's Greg Nog.
Oh, man.
It's so simple, but
Southern Comfort eggnog,
Still Greg
A&W root beer, and Captain Morgan Spice Rum. Greg Nog.
guys, I'm flattered. I'm very flattered.
David there.
I'll tell you, it grows on you.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all at first. Now with some spiced rum and
Yeah,
a
it's
few
not
sips,
bad.
I'm really enjoying this.
Get this Greg nog.
Yeah. It's Greg Nog.
All right, so let's go around the table and say like the thing you like, maybe like one of the things you like the most about the movie. Because I think we like starting off positive is a good way to get into things. I don't know who wants to.
I can do this.
Okay,
Okay, I,
Greg.
can do,
Yes.
I gotta go into.
First off, I hated this movie. But I mean, I really hated it. But I'm going to say the positive things.
Way to
about
start
it.
positive.
Yeah.
Should we do one at a time? Otherwise, it'll be like all on one, like
Yeah.
round, like
Yeah.
several rounds.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think my initial reaction, other people might also like, and I think it's objectively liked, so I'm going to ignore that one. I'll come back to it if nobody mentions it, but I think everybody will think that it's really good. So I'm going to go with the acting. The acting was very, very good.
Okay.
It was very, I mean, was anybody... Amy Adams, I felt, was hammed it a little bit.
Yeah.
Who's Amy
Any
Adams?
of the Lois Lane.
I just hate her in general.
Yeah,
She sucks shit.
see, I disagree with you. I do. I think she's a very good actress.
I
That's fine. To each their own on that one. That's fine.
I'm not
Yeah.
fighting with you.
But I'll tell you what, I fucking love Ben Affleck as the older Batman. I do. I love him as that.
You know, I was thinking that.
He definitely has
during
got
the
some
movie.
plastic surgery.
Oh yeah.
There was one
There
shot
was-
where it was.
There was a
kinda-
couple shots where I was like, "Is they CG his face?" No,
Yeah.
that's his
Yeah.
forehead. They
Yeah.
injected whatever that
Botox
shit.
or something.
Yeah,
I thought I saw it on his jaw. Like
You
there was
could
one
see
point
it.
where like cameras, like where
It's-
Chris is. I was like basically you were seeing the right side of his face, and I swear I thought that his jawline was like.
it looked oddly smooth. Just his face, like just weird.
Yeah, a couple times in the bat cowl, I was just like, his face looks like it's about to explode out of the cowl.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, it's like real. It's like they look like a sausage inside of
Yeah.
like a casing that's too tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I saw that.
No, it's all accurate. Gal Gadot is great.
Oh yeah,
She's phenomenal. I just want her to do. I want her to get everything that's coming to her. Because
One of those things is me.
no,
No.
that actually works really well.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, first of all, it's Gal Gadot.
I actually, on the way over here, I asked this while you were driving, and nobody knew how to pronounce her name.
Oh no,
That's
no,
not
no, no!
true.
You said Gail Gadot.
No, like we all, Chris. Everybody pronounced it correctly except for you. Like that
That's
is
also accurate.
everything you just said is wrong.
That
like,
is Chris's superpower.
It is.
I've said this more than once before.
You asked me in the theater, and I said Gal Gadot, and you're like, oh, I've heard it as like Gal Gadot, and I'm like, that's no, I won't. I promise I won't tell anyone that you said that. And then in the van on the way back, you're like, hey guys, does anybody like know how to say this? And then like two other people said Gal Gadot, and you're like, oh okay, because like I didn't know in the theater. I'm like, yeah, well I told you in the theater. So it is not true that no one else knew how to say it.
All I have to say is, shut up, Greg. I don't know.
You
Yeah.
forget that I'm still here.
I'm trying to think of what the funniest mispronunciation of Greg could be. Like what vowel is funniest in?
Well, it's not.
I think maybe
she.
Grig is funny. Grig.
I've
With an
done
I?
a typo and said
Hello,
Gerg
Greg.
on a typo.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Greg sounds like the guy from Flight of the Conchords, the manager.
Fucking what's
He was in Thor.
yeah.
Hello, Greg.
It's a yeah yeah. He's like
We're gonna have a show today.
my name's Cork. This is Meek. In Greek.
In Greg.
Greg, say hello.
Hello.
Greg died.
Other than that, though, I mean, no. If we're saying positive things, I'm done. All right.
Plus one thing, so
All right. Well, that was.
He's
I mean,
like,
that was.
oh my God.
That might be a record for you saying a bunch of positive things in a row on the podcast.
Probably.
Yeah. J-Man?
There was one scene that I really liked, and that was like the only thing that stood out to me. And I know Greg liked it too because he like lit up the same way when he seen it, which is whenever they're fighting Superman and the Flash is running around him to get behind him,
yeah.
and they
Oh,
show
yeah.
that mega close up of Superman's face,
Yeah.
and it's all like in that super fast motion,
Yeah.
and
Where
you
everyone
see
else
him-
is frozen.
Yeah, and you see Superman just like look
Yeah.
over at him, and then it cuts back to him, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And then it cuts back again, and he's still looking at him, and then he looks back again, and it's like, "Oh fuck.
Yeah.
And Superman's looking increasingly pissed.
Yeah.
And
Just-
moving faster.
Yeah.
That was so well done. Like
Yeah.
just and like they showed his face for a minute, and then you see just that one eye just
Yeah.
just turn.
Yeah, you're given just enough time to think he's going to get the drop on Superman. This is one thing he can't do.
You know what? I saw that coming because like it's always the thing like who's faster, Superman or the Flash?
The way they did it was
That's great though. Yeah. Well, especially because like at this point Barry isn't necessarily like he doesn't really know what he's doing, so he's like inexperienced. So he's probably not as fast as he potentially can be.
They made him way too dumb and way too. I'm the goofy guy, and I
Yeah.
don't know anything, but I'm super smart and a scientist.
Yeah. Yeah. It just made me like wish so hard that it was Barry from the TV show.
And
like-
if they had any sense of like what fans would want, they would just do.
Just send me that Barry.
Yeah.
Just give me the fucking Barry on
that. People
TV.
would just like that.
Give me Grant Gustin.
Nobody's
He's
going to
Barry.
be like no to that.
yeah. Yeah.
If you don't watch it, you'd probably be fine with it because he's good in that role.
well, and
if you do watch it, you'd fucking lose your shit.
well, and also like what you can do is you wouldn't have to even explain any of his shit. You were like, just watch the Flash. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
watch
true.
It.
You wouldn't have to try to like stuff in an origin or
Yeah, like I
explain whatever.
they're obviously going to make a Flash movie. You know, that's like a thing that they have planned already. It's been in the works for like a long time. So I get that. Like they didn't want to do a movie with Grant Gustin, I guess. But like, I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know. I would have thought it would be really cool if he like zipped in from like a different timeline or from a whatever parallel universe. They're like, oh hey, where'd you come from? He's like, oh no, I'm yeah, it's a long story. Like whatever, that'd be great.
But they were playing on that, like the autism thing, without
Yeah, oh,
saying
yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
they were playing on this, like, oh, he's super intelligent in these limited areas.
They never highlight his intelligence. Really?
well,
I feel like only I knew that just because I know the character well. They hardly highlighted that at all.
Yeah,
They just made him seem like he's the lovable goof.
Yeah, I guess it was implied whenever like
well, you saw his lair.
Bruce Wayne was
he
like,
has, like, a
sitting there
hacking
and he's
thing.
got like this,
Yeah, his rig is crazy.
yeah. But even at that, like he got some like entry level bullshit position at the crime lab.
Yeah, well, probably because he does not interview well.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think that actually, as we were watching it, I thought to myself, did they just cast him because he's really good at looking like his face saying "oh shit"? Because that was his whole role in the whole movie. It's just Flash saying "oh shit."
And looking like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
It's just like him.
That is Jimmy Fallon.
Wait, this is our good thing part.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Crap.
Well,
That's how slippery the slope is with
There's
this
only
movie.
like 5% of this movie that is good, so it's going to be tough.
yeah. Okay, so
Continuing.
That's all I got.
That scene. I'd be remiss if I didn't reiterate Chris's statement on the acting / casting. I liked. I mean, even when Batman vs Superman came out, which I did not watch, and as I was saying to somebody on the way out of the theater, I didn't see it at the time, like right away. And then I heard how terrible it was, so I thought, well, great, I'm not going to waste my time because they're obviously going to stop after this. And, but I've heard that movie's worse. So
it is definitely worse.
So there's
Yeah, that's one thing that's better about this movie.
That's right. That's
is that it's not as bad
as eating
Superman and
dog shit.
Batman,
But no, the cast, like particularly, I mean, I'm a fan of Gal Gadot. We were speculating during the pre-release, like, oh, who's going to cast as Wonder Woman? I remember having this conversation with you guys, like speculating, like who would make a good, like, oh, this woman would or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's not, or up until this point, has not been that famous, and never saw it coming. And I can't imagine anybody else being better. She's like a young Famke Jensen. Now that's
Famke
one
Janssen, yeah.
That's one name that I don't know how to pronounce.
Is it Famika or
no, it's Famke Janssen.
I'm better than that,
Famke?
at least.
I'm sure if you're saying it in her, where's she from? A Nordic country, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
I'm assuming if you say it in whatever her, like there's like an accent to it, but I think Americans would say Famke Janssen.
She played a Russian in Goldeneye. I know that.
Oh my goodness! As a kid, I remember being like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way about this person on TV because she's man. Like it's something about like because she would kill people with her fucking thighs. Like, yeah, that was. Anyway,
So I'm getting a similar feeling from Gal Gadot.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that there's that. I'm trying really hard to think of something because those are two really good observations.
yeah, I agree with that because I felt the same way about her because I was like, man, like she's not really big enough to be like physically intimidating enough to be like an Amazon
Yeah,
warrior.
that's what I thought.
But
true.
I mean, you don't really notice like the way that they shoot things. You don't think that she's like petite or small or anything like. They don't put her
I
next
had
to.
kind of a problem with it in her movie. There was a few scenes where she was swinging that sword and she was just really limp wristing it, kind of.
Yeah.
You could just tell. It's like,
Right.
you gotta.
You're an actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a 90-pound woman. Okay.
I guess a big part, like, if there's any moment, if the majority of moments you don't notice it, that's probably good costume design also.
Oh yeah.
And movement training and such. And but it's like, you know, Hugh Jackman's too tall to be Wolverine, but he's really good at portraying it. So
Yeah.
that's a much more exaggerated example of that. Like he's that point is stronger than Gal Gadot being irreplaceable as Wonder Woman. I'm not saying all that.
Right.
'Cause, I mean, Hugh Jackman, holy shit. But no, she's good. I like it. So remember what I was trying to say before with Batman versus Superman, because that was the first appearance of Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah.
Even without having seen it, I thought I could kind of see him, like, even like aside from all the bullshit with Daredevil and Jen, whatever her name was,
Yeah.
with the toilet seat. He it's where he like bought her a jeweled toilet seat, whatever, it doesn't matter. I still, like, looking at him, I'm like, I could see him as, you know, framed in the suit and everything that makes sense. And so this is the first performance of his that I've seen as Batman, and I think it was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know.
I would agree that I actually think that he. This is writing too, but like he has been the most like Batman out of like the people playing, like, because Batman is a fucking asshole. Like he doesn't give a fuck how you feel about things at all. Like he's like whenever he drops them off to go whatever, like to the mission at the end, he's like, get it done. Like that's what Batman is. He's like, all right, everybody out, get it. I'm gonna go do this thing. You get it done. You do your job. Like that's who he is. And whenever he's like, yeah, what if he wakes up and he's pissed and he's like, he'll get over it.
I like that.
Yeah, like that's.
But I mean, is that really the most Batman?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Batman's not nice at all. He doesn't give a fuck.
Nolan's Batman really wasn't nice either.
Yes,
Not at
he
all.
was. Yeah. No, Christian Bale is charming as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and he has that
Him and
sort
Alfred
of-
are funny together.
But is that how Batman's supposed to go? I'm never sure if that's how.
Yeah,
Batman
I don't know
should
if I
be.
agree with you
if
on
he
this
should be
one.
just a cold dick all the time, or he should be a fake nice guy when he's Bruce Wayne, and then when he's actually in his Batcave, he's just like then he's in his real self.
Well,
just a dick.
I think whenever, in my mind, the animated series Batman's like the truest Batman.
Yeah.
So
Who is charming?
no, he's not at all.
Yeah,
no, when he's Batman, he's a fucking dick all the time.
No, he's not.
not fine
I
at all.
disagree with this 100%.
When he's Bruce Wayne, he's fine. Kevin Conroy really gets the whole the difference between Batman and Bruce Wayne. Like he
No, I understand the dichotomy of the character between the two of them, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's not fair to say that this Batman is the ultimate vision of the Batman.
I'm not
series.
saying I'm not saying he's the best like comparison to that. I'm just saying like as far as live action goes, he's the most Batman of the live action Batmans. Like the way he just doesn't give a fuck about how anyone feels about the mission, or like, he's like, I'm saving the world and I don't give a fuck what it takes.
See, I think that's the only version with the Justice League, and I think that's an accurate version, but I don't think that's comparable to previous iterations of Batman.
Well, because if you don't have Batman in the Justice League, then he becomes a different character. Like Batman isn't the same in the Justice League as he is whenever he's just
Right,
Because
which is why I think that your point is moot for that.
all right, fair enough. But like I think that whenever, because if Batman is like in a Batman story, Batman is like the ultimate power. Like no one outthinks Batman ever. He always wins.
Yeah.
That's his power, is
Protagonist, yeah.
being right and being like his foresight.
Yeah.
But in Justice League, that's his only attribute because everyone else is a fucking superhero.
Right.
So-
he's Sherlock Holmes.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think this Batman was like closest to like getting that. Whatever. I'm not going to say it again.
And he was right about getting, ultimately, it seemed like a mistake, but ultimately, like getting Superman out of the coffin, it was, came around to everyone was like, you're an asshole. And
Spoiler alert: Superman is in this movie, despite what the trailers would have you believe, as if we didn't think he was going to be
Were
in
they
this
trying
fucking
to
movie.
make you believe that? I didn't watch any. I don't
Yeah,
think
he's
I've
not in
seen
any of the trailers or anything. So dumb.
yeah.
Well, no, and it's kind of cool that is his attribute. That attribute is highlighted in Justice League because, like, in the absence of like having any superpowers, the one superpower that presumably, and I say this, and perhaps I'm like a little too hopeful for the world, but something that like we could all aspire to, which
Yeah.
is like Just think more. Spend a little more time thinking.
Well, that's
critically.
Yeah, I think that's why people like Batman so much, because he doesn't have any superpowers. Like, that's usually the thing that divides people between who like love Batman and hate Batman. Because some people, actually, I know a couple of people who are like, "Fuck Batman, he's not a superhero; he has like powers."
Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, you're right. Fuck them. But yeah, in part, like, which way do you look at it? He has no powers, so he's not really a superhero, or he's a superhero because he has no powers. He's a superhero anyway.
Yeah.
And whenever, so there's the part whenever he, I think they kind of took this from I remember seeing this image in a book where Catwoman walks in on Bruce when he's like taking the suit off, and his back is to her, and she looks at his back, and it's just torn the fuck up because he's just a dude.
And she almost throws up.
Yeah, like, it's disgusting. Like, think about how many times Batman's been like shot, stabbed, whatever, bruised up, beat the shit out of. Like, imagine what his body has to look like. Like, just shitty.
There was like, and I not knowing that was from a book where Catwoman sees him do that. It's they had a moment of that in this one where Wonder Woman had like sees that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay. You just specifically. Yeah.
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 I was saying I liked that because it was like, it's showing like Bruce, he's like old and he really shouldn't be doing this in the first place. But he's like the most heroic out of all of them, because he's like, the other ones are like, I got punched by Steppenwolf. Shake it off. It's like, Superman hit me once and like almost killed me.
Yeah.
Like, very nearly probably killed him.
You don't like. Does anybody like people saying like, "Oh, Batman's bullshit. He doesn't have any superpowers." Can you say out of the other 5 Justice League characters that any of them are truly living up to, or maybe even beyond their expected potential, or whatever?
Right.
Yeah,
Batman is.
What if
Yeah.
Batman had superpowers?
Oh my goodness.
Like,
Yeah.
what would that be like?
Well, there's a couple of things that there are a couple of like whatever, like Elseworlds kind of things that do that. Where there's one, I actually have one. It's where I forget. So I think Superman or Kal-El comes to Earth, and instead of being found by the Kents, he's found by the Wayne family. So he's Bruce Wayne, and like Kal-El was Bruce Wayne, and he becomes his parents are murdered, and when his parents are murdered, it triggers his powers, and he vaporizes the dudes who murdered his parents with his eyes.
That's cool.
He doesn't know what's going on, and he becomes this like recluse, and Superman is he's Batman Superman.
Wow.
Which is, and he's fucking terrifying. It's awesome. So, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't think that I think that if Batman had superpowers, like from the gate, from the jump, you wouldn't have that character, because that character, the Batman character, kind of reminds me of, you know, that joke that I say, you know, the wealth is wasted on the wealthy, right?
Yeah.
Because we can sit around and think about like, oh man, if I had unlimited money, this is what I would do with it, and this is what I would do with it, and you know, we could do these things and have all these great ideas, but like through having superpowers or wealth, there comes like this handicap also that doesn't allow you to think in a way that is as critical, or critical in ways that as critical as the people who don't have them, who are forced to think, to be creative, to be kind of brilliant in its simplicity.
Yeah, you don't have the like the what's it like, they're not as squirrely as people with no money.
He probably
Right.
he probably wouldn't have all those wonderful toys.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Because he wouldn't need them, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you'd have a fucking whatever, some neoprene suit and a cape. You know? And
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you have to be. You know, he wouldn't be a hustler.
right, and that's it kind of reminds me of in one of Malcolm Gladwell's books, it's Outliers or something. He was talking about like that kind of intelligence that comes from not having shit.
Yeah.
You know, which is the essentially in the Justice League, Batman is essentially the poor kid in like some prep school.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And so they administered these exams. It was a kind of like an IQ test, but it was testing for particular types of intelligence. And they administered them. And the one example that sticks with me, he cited several examples, but when they said, you know, you have a brick, what are the things you could do with the brick? And he was saying like the affluent kids were like, oh, well, you could build a wall, you could build a house, you could do any number of these things. And like the kids who were in this prep school, like on scholarship from some impoverished area, was like, you can use it to break a window and get inside. You can use it to defend yourself. You can use it as a step stool to reach something that you can't get. You can use it for, and like just had a litany of things that you, like potential uses for a brick.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if you have ladders and you have like remote entry and you have you know, like you don't have any like real threats, you don't think like that. You
right.
fucking you get like handicapped almost.
Yes. Yeah.
And so yeah, Batman's sort of like the
The poor kid.
he's kind of like the poor kid in a prep school of superheroes.
Ironically, Batman is the poor kid in this situation.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that makes me like him more so in the context of the Justice League than as like a solo character, because I'm like, oh yeah, dude, like you have to work real hard.
I'm just seeing like Bruce Wayne as like a poorer kid in the rich neighborhood, and I just imagine him as the Fresh Prince in the prep school he goes to with his jacket turned inside out.
to have the paisley print on the outside. Yeah.
Or he rolls in like everybody else rolls in on their fancy new bike, and his bike has like instead of chrome has like aluminum foil on it. Yo, crowned out my bike. Like, dude, come on. Man.
Like some of it are just like Burger King, like burger wrappers.
Yeah. Like when he comes in with his armored suit on, they all look at him like, dude. I mean, all right, I guess you need that. Were we on yours?
Yeah, we were on mine, which is kind of segues into what I liked about it, and this, I don't know, might be surprising to everyone here and everyone who is listening to this and has seen it, but I kind of felt like the movie was a little bit inspiring, in the way that, I mean, shit right now sucks in this country. Like, it sucks real fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, we are maybe at one of the shittiest times since like the abolition of slavery, since right before the abolition, not since the abolition of slavery, since those moments immediately preceding the abolition of slavery.
John, we really fucked up on that one.
Yeah.
You think it's that bad? I would say like maybe
Yeah,
it's since
dude,
like
you
the
are-
80s.
Yeah,
Really?
no, this is not that.
So
bad.
we have like crazy like world policies that are being enacted that are, I mean, essentially pushing people out and enslaving people to places that aren't inside of the country. Like, this is fucking crazy.
So maybe
Like,
since Dust Bowl era depression, you know, it's like that. At least that. I mean, just throwing another one out there, but you know,
I'm talking about like in terms of like the policies that are being made and how they impact like the people on Earth.
okay. Yeah.
You know, like this is I'm not saying like our country is in a state of, you know, it's going to implode or something, but like shit's really shitty right now.
Yeah.
And I know I feel powerless. And like seeing that movie, it's like, oh, like there's, you know, there's like a sense of hope conveyed.
Yeah.
It's like there's, no matter how terrible stuff gets, like there's still hope. You can, and if there's that line at the end, the only true darkness is when it comes with the belief that light has left absolutely.
Right.
And I was like, huh.
that it's not coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That like there's and then, you know, Lois Lane goes on to like, oh, but if you just look up to the sky, or you know, like the belief in hope,
Yeah.
is enough to persevere and change things.
Like if they had this movie, and if we had not seen Batman vs Superman, I would like this movie so much more, because that same message is in in Man of Steel, where it's like his symbol stands for hope, and like we have Superman now, so everything's fine, and like they kind of they kind of bounced right over that idea in Batman vs Superman, and they came back to it in this movie, and I like that. Where
Yeah.
because they even give you. Actually, I'm not gonna. I'll wait for my turn for that, but. Yeah, they see whenever Wonder Woman actually I think is a really good example. Like whenever I love whenever it shows her at the end like just like nabbing some whatever bank robbers or something, or like museum robbers, and she goes up and like stands in front of those little kids, and she's like, "Hey, You know, she like it's like Wonder Woman talking to small children, which is like, that's fucking great. I was, it made me feel real nice inside.
For sure.
Yeah. And her little thing about, she was like, she shut herself off and she wasn't trying to like be a leader. And then she's like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm Wonder Woman. I got to step up. I like that bit. Especially whenever Bruce like confronts her about that. He's like, I like Superman. Like everyone loves Superman. Who the fuck are you? Where have you been? And she's like, well, yeah, you're right.
What?
Yeah.
I just said this is taking it briefly out of the positives for a second, but I wanted so badly to, like, it was quiet enough in that theater that I could have whispered this, and like a few people in a limited radius could have heard me. But when he confronted her, he was like, I said something like, Superman's a beacon. Why aren't you that beacon? Why aren't you that leader? And I'd be like, because you're a woman. That's just, it was so easy, but whatever. So at least you get to hear that now.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I thought there was some hope coming through in the.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at some point, Superman was like, I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Like, I was like, okay, good. Because that's like, we don't need any more deaths of Superman around here, please.
Right.
Fuck. It's the last thing we need.
The last thing we need around here. More Supermans dying on us.
Seriously. And I mean, so if you've been listening and like you think there's like spoilers, or whatever, like nothing in this movie is you're gonna be like, oh my god, like there are no shockers in this movie. You're gonna be like, okay, that was. I think that's probably what I didn't like about it, was there are no really surprises, but it was.
The teaser at the end was fucking stupid.
yeah, we won't ruin that. But like, if you want to stay at the end of the credits,
Really,
feel
I was just
free.
gonna say it. It's not fucking interesting. They showed nothing with Darkseid in any of this.
Yeah. So I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
I really like the music. I like the music a lot.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I thought was the obvious one, because the music was fucking awesome.
Because they let Danny Elfman do it. Was Danny Elfman, right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, good. Because like, this is not really a spoiler unless you're like kind of nerdy about theme songs and stuff. Because I certainly am, and I love like movie themes and soundtracks. You get both the Batman and the motherfucking Superman theme in this movie, and it's like it's not even it's not overt. It's not in your face. It's like in there. If you're paying attention, it's more evocative. It's not really the actual themes like in full, but you get little motifs. So you're like, oh my god, that's the Batman theme song. Like everyone knows there's one Batman theme song. It's the 1989 Batman theme song, the Danny Elfman,
And it's in there.
It's fucking in there. And then everyone knows the real Superman theme song is the John Williams one, and that's in there too, like in little snippets. And I fucking love that. Like there's a part where it's just you just get the it's 3 notes. You get 3 notes. Superman does something, and you just hear da, 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 and I was like, yes! I was so excited. I actually got like a little giddy, like a little kid. I was like, Superman, yes, that's exactly what I think of when I. Because with Man of Steel, with Superman Returns, they just hit you in the face with the Superman theme song like every 4 seconds. every second, it's like, oh, remember this? Yeah, this is from the last one, the Christopher Reeve one. This was actually Zack Snyder did something tasteful for once, and wow, I'm a little impressed actually.
Yeah, when I saw Danny Elfman's name on the credits in the beginning, I perked up. Mm-hmm. I did.
Yeah, because I really think that the like musical motifs for things like this are very important. I mean, we've had a lack of those in movies, in my opinion, recently. Think of what's the last like good, like big movie theme you've heard recently.
I dare anybody right now to hum the theme to Avatar.
Yeah, or like any new themes from Star Wars.
That was almost 10 years ago. Think about that.
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
No, you're right.
They still haven't made that sequel yet. Damn.
You mean those 5 sequels they're going to make?
They were going to make a bunch of them.
No,
Dude,
they're going to make 5
they
sequels.
are?
I don't
And-
know if you guys
Everybody will be dead
fucking
before
remember
then.
this, but a tangent off of Avatar. Do you guys remember people committing suicide after that movie?
After Avatar?
Yeah, because they couldn't exist in that world. They wanted so much to exist in that world.
It's
and
a good thing
there were
those people are
fucking
dead.
suicides. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's a good thing those people
Yeah,
are
and
dead.
those
Like,
and those bloodlines.
Yep.
Dude,
I'm going to go ahead
get
and
rid of those
hashtag that
people.
one. It's a good thing. That's
Kill yourself over a dumbass movie. You deserve to die.
Just killing yourself over a movie.
Yeah, even a good one.
You know what?
I
I love Batman more than I love anything. Like, I have so much Batman in my life, and they've ruined Batman over and over again. And I'm just like, well, I don't know. whatever.
No, it's not because they were dismayed
it'll
at
be
how
different this
terrible it
time.
was. They were dismayed that they had to return. They had to take off those fucking rented glasses, and they didn't have a port to hook up to a flying dragon, and they didn't have a tree to hang out with.
Yeah, that person doesn't exist in this world. I'm glad they're dead. I mean,
Their word was stupid. Like, what? Who wants to be
Yeah.
an avatar? Fucking monster. Avatar, monster, blue. Whatever.
That's a good
the
point.
fuck.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
also
wouldn't want to be one of those.
Also, that person's a stupid dumb shit because now you can be an avatar at like fucking Disney or whatever where they have it.
Yeah, they just had to wait a few
Yeah,
years.
they just had to wait a few years. They just had to wait for like the bullshit technology to catch up. Not even the good technology, the bullshit technology.
Oh yeah, you just have to wait for like Disney to fucking build a theme park and
3D glasses and like I don't know, a tug job. I'm not even sure how what do you do with there? I don't know.
I don't know. I know that they're building those Star Wars ones. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It'd be dumb as fuck to be an avatar. You'd be like just standing in the woods, like, all right, what do we do now?
No, but you get to fly around in those dragons. That'd be pretty.
That's
cool.
the only
That'd occupy
activity.
you for like an hour.
So
Then
so there's your roller coaster. You got your roller coaster.
yeah,
right?
dude. We have in the real world, we have planes. I can fly through the sky in a chair. Like, I do not fucking care about that.
Yeah, those dragon things.
Say, can you imagine trying to ride a dragon?
Yeah, like, have you
What do you grab onto?
have you ever been on a horse before? It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And the horse in the sky?
Can you imagine
What?
if the horse was flying around?
Why
Yeah.
would that's like people riding horses? We have cars with air conditioning. Why the fuck would you want to ride a horse?
Yeah. Also, if you're like a flying dragon, here's what you hear: all the bugs
like,
in your
"Fuck,
teeth.
this
You have to
sucks.
wear goggles and shit. It's probably
Windy as
cold.
shit.
You ever been on a motorcycle before?
Oh, yeah.
And it's any less than 60 degrees outside?
Oh, God.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. When I pull up on my dragon, if somebody's like pissing me off and I just toast their car, like, oh hey, that's funny. I just burnt your tires.
These weren't even the good kind of dragons, though. They didn't breathe fire.
No, they can fuck something up.
They didn't breath, right? There's no fire. Right?
There's no fire.
They can bite stuff.
They can fight stuff. My car can hit stuff too.
Yeah.
Like you piss me off
We have
badly enough.
We have guns.
No, I don't give a shit. Showing up on a dragon anywhere is badass.
It's cool, but I don't think it's worth it. Okay, you know how cold the air is, like a few dozen feet in the air, like above where you like the ground level. If you're in the mountains or something, or if you're actually in the sky, it is cold as fuck.
Plus, those people
None
were.
of us are saying we wouldn't ride dragons around.
Right, I would.
We all do it.
It's just not enough to pull you into that world.
Sure,
indefinitely.
I wouldn't
not
kill
enough to-
myself because I couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Let's not be crazy.
Get a
I
hang
can't ride a
glide, like
dragon. I'm still
hang
here.
glide or something.
All right.
I would love it though if on that ride, like that Disney ride, if they said, "Yeah, it's a totally realistic experience. We're gonna give you like the goggles and the earphones and everything. They put on the earphones, and they just make the whole sound." And you're like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, oh, it's totally authentic. And they're like, oh, I guess so.
Just somebody behind them with like that giant like pane of aluminum, like faking thunder with it.
And someone shooting BBs at your face to some of all the stuff that's flying through the air.
It's like,
Okay,
ow.
insect. Yeah.
Like not all, just every once in a while, like, ow, fuck, what was that?
Like pretty constantly, yeah. Dude, I went to Kennywood once a couple of years ago, and I rode the Sky Coaster. It was drizzling very lightly, and I felt like my face was just, like just getting pelted by constellations.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Yeah, they shoot the BB gun in your face, and you hear the what's her name's what's the chick Zoe Saldana's voice?
Yeah.
She's like, that's just the bugs. I'm like, fucking, can I get like a helmet or something? God damn it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
Yeah.
like the music. So
So-
okay, now we can unleash hell. Who wants to?
I think we kind of already did.
Oh no. No, not at all. No,
all right.
we've been cordial. Okay, first off, fuck this movie.
So Chris, I know you've been waiting for this. Why don't you just go for it? Go ahead.
So obviously, nobody in this universe needs to exist except for Superman, because
Yeah, that is true. He made them all look like bitches.
the only point to this movie is let's bring back Superman so he can save Earth, because obviously nobody else can do it.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything because they needed Superman. And then Superman came back to life, and he said, all of you are shit, and he beat the shit out of everybody else, further proving that the only person that needs to exist is fucking Superman.
Yeah.
Fuck Superman. Also, the only thing that's interesting about Superman is that he has a moral compass. He can't kill people. Except in this movie, when he comes back and tries to kill everybody. Also, he tried to kill everybody in the last movie he was in. And when he tried to kill everybody in the last movie, he killed someone. So that's not interesting at all. And what did he do in this movie? Fucking killed somebody. So he has no interest whatsoever. Also, he's the only person that needs to exist because the only bad guy, which they introduced, because they needed a bad guy who couldn't defeat the fucking Justice League. I'm sorry. I'm getting really upset. I'm going to hold on here.
Do you have your blood pressure medicine on you?
I need a little bit of that. Okay.
Slight correction. This might get you more upset, but he didn't kill that guy. They took the Disney ending. He like died effectively by his own hand.
Oh, yeah.
All his
And he didn't
his
kill
own
anybody.
minions.
That's true.
Yes,
You're right.
it was
I
a
retract
poetic-
that.
Oh, he was a poetic. So Superman still has no blood on his hands.
That's true.
In this movie, yes.
Well, in this, no, but he did kill Zod.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
For sure.
yeah, he-
Oh,
killed
yeah.
him.
No,
time.
he killed Zod hardcore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Although I didn't hate that because I
loved it.
think he has killed Zod before in the comic books. Like because Superman he does sometimes kill people. Like every once in a while he kills people.
There's not enough buildup of the person that is Superman to make that effective.
No,
in
you're
these
no,
movies.
oh, you're right. You're right. The way that was handled, like the way all three of these movies have been handled, is as if a child who like has seen other movies that are
A
better.
child with an action figure in each hand
Yeah.
is giving a play-by-play with a superhero in one hand and a Godzilla figure in the other one. That's how these movies are written.
What? Batman, we can't bring Superman back. What if he freaks out? Oh, that's the risk I'm willing to take. Oh, no, he's losing his mind. He doesn't know who he is.
Freaking the fuck out.
Wonder Woman, save us. Oh, no, Wonder Woman couldn't do it.
because I only have two hands.
Clark, it's me,
action
Lois.
figures.
Oh, Lois, I didn't know. What happened? I'm alive again. Let's just go somewhere else. Okay, whoosh.
I'm
was
just
better
saying, Superman, you're not inviting him to a party. Like you wouldn't want him at your party. He's boring as fuck. Lois Lane must be super boring too. Or
Oh, they're those people who post a lot of stuff on Instagram.
yeah, or Superman has
together,
like
together.
a super cock. Like
Of course he has a supercar.
he's like slaying it. He's- like he can just go for days without coming, and she's having like 73,000 orgasms because they're boring as fuck. Like you sit down and talk to that guy, like, oh man, what's so yeah, I know you flew, I know, yeah, but like what fun stuff have you done like with?
First of all, sometimes whenever one of them is taking a bath, the other one will get into that bath with their clothes on. That's some wild shit.
Yeah, fucking.
But honestly, it kind of is though. Like if you were dating somebody and they were in the bath and they were like, "Come on," you'd be like, "No, what? No, I have to like go to something later.
Yeah,
I can't. What am I clothes? Hold on a second.
it'll take
You're
me a
not gonna
second to take
fit
my
in
clothes
there.
off.
Like, how would you occupy a tub of two people? It's
That's
just-
a good point.
It would just be terrible.
Also, keep in mind, Henry
be
Cavill
incredibly
is
uncomfortable.
Superman.
Yeah.
He's probably humongous.
He's at least 6. How tall is Superman? He
I
has
mean,
like
Superman's
very,
supposed to be like 6'5", I
Is he
think.
supposed to be like 6'5"? So I know
Yeah.
he's supposed to be like he
He's
has very
a big
specific
dude.
measurements.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's
He does
huge.
like
Look how small Lois Lane is. Like two people are not fitting. Another person's not fitting in a tub with Superman.
yeah.
Unless you got a big tub.
They didn't have a big tub.
Yeah,
No,
just
we saw it on screen. It's
Yeah.
not that big.
It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
They're dumb. They're like, he's absolutely you want to have him as a neighbor.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, oh, fuck, man. You know what? I need a lift somewhere. Hey, no sweat. I got you. No problem. But like, you're like just sitting around, want to talk some shit.
Yeah, your buddies.
You
You're like,
don't want to talk to him.
you got
don't
Bruce, you got Arthur, you got Diana. They're like,
Yeah.
We're missing anybody? Like, we could call Clark. Everyone's like,
No.
he's probably busy.
Like
They
him and
probably all
Lois are
laugh.
probably having a nice lunch at Panera Bread.
And then later on, they're going to take Clark's mom to the Olive Garden
Yeah.
Wow.
because they live in Kansas,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's probably and they probably have to drive an hour to get to the Olive Garden,
Damn.
and they can't fly there because people would see them.
And that Olive Garden is out of breadsticks.
And it smells a little bit weird in there, and it's a little bit too hot.
and Clark refuses to warm the food up with his eyes,
Yeah,
with his superpowers, because it would be unethical.
Yeah, and he will not cool off the restaurant with his frost breath.
No, because that would also be unethical.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is such a bitch. Like, unless the fucking world's coming to an end, he's a bitch. Like, I don't want to hang out with him.
I feel like this version of Superman is, I don't know, I don't like him that much. Yeah, he's all right, I guess, but
He has the look.
he does look like Superman.
Yeah, it's perfect casting. That is true.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
I
what.
didn't hate him as much in this movie as I hated him in the last movie.
A lot of people hate Superman, and I don't like Superman either. I don't. But if you actually read the earlier comics of Superman, he's a much more interesting character.
The new comics are great.
Well, I don't know about anything to do.
The character in the books now is awesome.
Okay.
He and Lois are married. They have a kid, Jonathan, who is Superboy.
So is it like
That sounds
the
very
moral
interesting.
aspect
Tell me
of
more
Superman?
about it.
No, yeah.
Sounds
What's-
like half my fucking Facebook feed.
well, here's the thing: Superman.
Oh, right. You're speaking in sarcasm. Got it.
Superman's Facebook would be hilarious.
Oh, somebody should do that. That'd be amazing. But that would be really funny. Like,
Somebody other than DC.
yeah. But
No,
but
yeah.
but in the comic books, though, he is like kind of interesting.
Well,
Him being a dad is like fun to watch. He's not a boring dude. I don't know. If you read the new books, you know what I'm talking about.
I have one from the, I think, late 60s.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first superhero comics that I read. My uncle gave it to me. And it was really interesting because Superman was asked to go undercover and bust these really ruthless criminals that were robbing banks. And the police asked Superman to do it because they were known for just killing people. So anytime anybody joined their group, if they felt that they were part of the police, they would just kill them. They're like, okay, Superman, if you can do this, at least we'll catch these guys. Nobody's going to be able to kill you. And they showed the side of the criminals where they were just like really scared of the police, and then that they absolutely needed to do this because they all had arrest records and they couldn't get jobs, and this is the only thing they could do to feed their families. And then Superman got to know these families and these people, and he was like, I can't bust these guys. Like, I have a moral compass, and I can't do this to these people. I know these families, these friends. That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's good, but that sounds more like an appropriate Batman story, kind of like the one where he gets locked in the box.
Kind of, yeah. But I mean, for that's a moral compass of Superman that I would watch that. Like,
Yeah, but here's why: because Superman has X-ray vision. It's just like, okay, stake out a bank. Watch where these guys fucking go from anywhere.
oh yeah, no,
You can just
Superman's still
fucking-
bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah, like you can tell a story about that with like any less powerful superhero.
you can. You're right.
That's the problem.
I'm not defending Superman. He sucks. He sucks as a character. We shouldn't acknowledge Superman ever.
Yeah, it's almost like Superman's like when you're playing with your friends and like when you're a kid with action figures, and you're like, oh yeah, well I have X-ray vision. And you're like, dude, you don't have what?
Or
What are you talking
even
about?
worse, when you're fucking playing like army or guns or something where you're shooting at your friends and your friend just says out of nowhere, oh, I have force field up.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you. You're the least fun person I know. Like, okay, you have force field up. Great. When does that go down? How can it be disabled? Oh, it can't. Oh, sweet. Fuck you then. This game's over.
Force field, that means that none of us can play with you anymore. So,
Right.
Yeah.
You're-
Cool.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened in this movie. None of us could play with Superman.
Yeah.
Like he just no, none of the Justice League can play with Superman.
I guess for the drama of the movie itself, they kind of needed Superman to be dead or exiled or something on a different
Yeah.
planet, like something, because otherwise there would be no danger to all the Aquaman, all this stuff.
I love the contempt you just said Aquaman and shit.
Yeah, they try so hard to make him look badass.
yeah.
They try so hard.
They got this asshole. That
Why the
they
fuck
tried
does
to,
he need clothes? Why did he emerge from the fucking ocean with a wife beater on in jeans?
But
They're trying to make him look tough. He's like, oh, he's tough. He's got like, he drinks whiskey and listens
he
to
should
rock
have had
and
his
roll.
cock hanging out when he came out of there. You want to be badass? You show up into a bar with your cock hanging out, drinking like some shitty whiskey. Like that's badass.
then that's not someone to be trifled with. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, if he would have came butt naked out of the water, yeah,
that's a good point. That'd be
Yeah.
really funny. Yeah.
yeah.
Got a lot
Bruce
more-
Wayne would have been like, whoa.
You know what?
yeah.
I was thinking this during the movie, and I forgot about it. until right now, but this is the problem with DC versus Marvel. DC tries so hard to be cool, and cool is subjective.
Yes.
10 years from now, cool is going to be very different than what cool is now versus 10 years ago.
Dude.
Yeah.
Marvel doesn't do that. Marvel tries to make the best movie they can. It's still resonating with what may be cool right now.
Yeah.
But Marvel says, let's try and make a timeless movie versus DC that's like, let's try and get whatever the fad is right now. What's cool? What's hip? We're going to do that. And it just comes off as cringy.
Yeah.
It really does.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just like fucking over the top music and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
anytime you feel like yourself going down that road, I've said it to myself a bunch of times. Today's cool is tomorrow's stupid.
yeah.
So you just have to remember that all the time with everything.
Whenever Batman is flying the the plane or whatever, he puts those goggles on. I was like, did Oakley make those in 1998?
Yeah.
Well,
It looked,
well, the
you
thing
look like
is,
Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 2.
I thought they were going to serve like I was like, oh, okay, he has to put these on because he's fucking like flying this fucking thing.
Yeah,
it's
it's
going to
like
serve
a
some
heads-up
like
display or
special.
something.
Yeah, nothing. It doesn't elaborate on
goggles.
that. No, just some fucking.
That's his
goggles.
flying that
Yeah.
thing outfit. Yeah.
He has a windshield too. Like,
Well, that's so that whenever you buy the action figure, they can make one a different head and put it on the same action figure and be like, that's like action flight Batman.
Yeah.
But it's the same fucking body with like slightly different colors on it and a different head.
So, but I want to go back to that point that Jared just made. You know, today's cool is tomorrow's stupid. I don't think that that's like universally true though. So I think what is accepted, what most people like the collective, what the collective think is cool, like those stupid fucking Oakley sunglasses, that shit that's cool now will be fucking real dumb. But there's an archetype that I think has kind of existed. You know, you read it about it in like, you know, Greek antiquity, and like the cool guy, the cool character is somebody who is kind of existing by their own terms. Right. You know, who questions things, who has like an aesthetic and an identity that doesn't jive with what everybody else is doing, and has a sense of like sureness about themselves where it's like, listen, like I know you guys are fucking stupid, and so like I'm not even gonna try to fit in with that, but the things that I do know are true is that the majority of you are full of shit, and I'm going to question everything, and I'm going to fucking move forward with what I have come to understand as true based on all of my, like, reflection and not being caught up in this, like, herd fucking mentality of just trudging forward towards some place that fucking sucks and sells Oakley sunglasses.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, you see that, yeah, throughout the ages. And I think that that's universally cool.
Yeah, it's not
like,
giving any
timelessly
fucks.
Cool.
Giving zero fucks.
Yeah.
Is always cool.
Yeah.
Even if that person person's like comes on is directly like say I don't know, insulting you personally, if you can tell that person doesn't give a fuck, like you kind of like you feel defeated or helpless. It's like, well, what am I supposed to say to that? Like that person, I can no argument that can. If you don't give a fuck, you're unbeatable.
Well, but doing it from a place of like grounded, thoughtful reflection, like in principle,
right?
You know, like you have something that like you believe in, and it's not just arbitrary, like.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
So not giving a fuck about what the largest margins of society give a fuck about.
Yeah.
That's what's cool.
Sure.
Because not, you know, being a fucking whatever, a nihilist isn't cool.
Yeah.
But like giving a fuck deeply about something that most other people are overlooking for the sake of, you know, engaging or indulging in whatever sort of like nonsense, cool guy behavior.
This is like not allowing popular opinion to actually influence your own opinion.
Yeah.
Both in either a positive or a negative direction.
Right.
For,
Exactly.
About whatever the subject is.
Right. Or maybe not immediately buying into whatever the popular opinion is without careful reflection.
Right.
Because sometimes, yeah, sure, the majority is right.
No, you can agree with what the majority says, but not because the majority says it.
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
not allowing the majority opinion to influence your opinion.
Yes.
It might be the same opinion, but it's not related to theirs. It's not as a reflection of or a reflection of theirs. It's not the cause and effect are not.
Right.
Yeah, there's no correlation.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just thinking about like what makes other superheroes cool, and like it a lot of times does boil down to that. Like for example, in the movies, like I think that the coolest characters are probably like Tony Stark is obviously cool as fuck, right? I mean, just I think you ask another person who's seen any of the Marvel movies, you're like, who's a cool character? Be like Tony Stark, because he doesn't give a fuck at all, and he's like in most cases more intelligent than almost everybody else, and like his going against the grain is seen as like him being like maybe not wiser, but like smarter and like having a little bit more foresight than a lot of people.
Yeah.
And therefore he doesn't have to give a fuck about like what he says to people or anything. Like he has a ton of money and he's really smart, so he's just like, yeah, whatever. No, your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes him cool. Like his sarcasm makes him cool.
Actually, Tony Stark's a decent example because this is such a weird, like off the beaten. I believe it's in the Avengers movie, the first one. He's wearing a Black Sabbath shirt. Now, Black Sabbath is a household name band,
Yeah.
so you might think like, oh, okay, so he likes Black Sabbath, and that's like a popular opinion or whatever. But it's specifically a Never Say Die Black Sabbath shirt. That is their last album with the original lineup. And it's not like the best-selling album or tour or anything like that. Yeah. It's not like he had like a Iron Man whatever,
right?
Something. And like, so he likes Black Sabbath, which although a lot of people like it, he's like
A fan,
a real fan, because it's like a way less played album, and it has nothing to do with because everybody else likes it. It's because he himself like. And even though he's super smart, it's not. In no way is he ever pretentious enough, or to. Like he's not above the riffing or power chords of Black Sabbath, saying like, "Oh, I'm into like Genesis." Or something.
he's not like a prog rock person exclusively or something.
Yeah, he's like there's beauty to simplicity, and that's and anyway. So like, without speaking just in circles about it, like that's one thing that struck me while watching that movie. It's just he's cool.
Yeah. And I would say that the moral compass thing can be used in that same way, where I think that Steve Rogers is also cool because he's not like everybody else, because he's literally from the past. So like all of his ideals are like kind of pure. You know, like he's a guy who came from fighting in World War II against the bad guys. So like whenever other people in the Captain America 2, they're like, yeah, we're doing this spy satellite thing. He's like, is that a good idea? Because that seems fucked up, guys. And everyone's like, well, we're Hydra, so we're fucked up. And he's like, okay, well, that's not cool. I'm going to fight you. And like his morality makes him the one who is right, but not in like a cheesy way.
Yeah.
Because any regular person's probably like, be like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't spy on everyone all the time for no reason. And I don't know. I think that makes Steve Rogers cool in the fact that he's not, and he doesn't allow fear to influence his like morality, his decision making. You can't say that for Superman, because Superman's not really afraid of anything. What's he afraid of? Like losing Lois, probably? I think that makes him smaller. In some ways. In some ways, it makes him more human. I like actually, let me digress. I liked what he said, or what Bruce said about him, like in his absence. And it kind of lined up with what Bruce said at the end of the movie, when Superman's actually standing in front of him. Because whenever he's not there, he says to Diana, he's like, no, like the world needs Superman and we need Clark. Like that's, like, he says like it's something really nice to like. It's a really beautiful thing he says about him. He's like, he's more human than I am. Like that's a really nice thing to say about somebody. And then when he's standing in front of him, he goes, yeah, I know you didn't bring me back because you like me. And he's like, I don't not. Yeah. It's like you had this like eloquent, beautiful thing to say to this man, like about this man when he was dead, and now he's sitting around for him. He's like, I guess you're cool. I guess I don't know.
I think that's another thing that I really hated about this movie. That I hate about everything Zack Snyder does. It just wasn't funny. I know there were funny parts to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
you're
failed
absolutely right.
Yeah.
every single time.
So
I
many
laughed.
jokes fell so flat.
I laughed once.
Well, the funniest
I
ones were the
also
ones
did
we'd
too.
already seen before. Like
Pretty much,
nothing.
yeah.
Nothing was like uproariously funny, but all the ones I thought were like kind of funny, I'd fucking seen the trailer already.
Yeah, the only part that I actually audibly laughed at was after the Superman fight when Batman was like, "Something's bleeding," because Batman never admits to anything like that.
Yeah.
It was a foil to his character where
Yeah.
they were like, oh, "Okay, that actually is pretty funny." Batman's admitting he got his shit fucked in real hard.
Also, no one else was around to hear him say that.
Yeah,
He was talking to himself.
yeah.
True, yeah, that was fun.
Other than that, I mean, and that's just Zack Snyder through and through. He cannot direct comedy at all.
No, he
can't. he's impervious to anything funny.
Especially whenever you come out. I know that you shouldn't consider what your choices are during a movie, like when you're making a movie, considering what other movie's supposed to come out at the same time. But like having Thor come out, and Thor is a comedy, like almost straight ahead.
Through and through.
So like you have a movie like that, where you walk out of Thor and you're like, that was great. I had such a good time. And like I want to see it again, and I had just as much fun the second time seeing it. Like, you know what? Oh man, this part's really funny. Yeah, that was just as funny as I remember it. Like, I could watch that movie probably 3 or 4 times. You know.
But you know what? Okay, Wonder Woman isn't the greatest movie ever, but I laughed a couple of times during it.
There are definitely funny movies. Yeah, but Zack Snyder didn't direct that.
No, and I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah,
I did too. I would really enjoy if Zack Snyder didn't direct anymore. I really would.
He should be a cinematographer.
He really should be.
That's it. Yeah, that should be his job. He shouldn't be a fucking...
I don't want to take away from his previous, feats. I think that 300 was great.
Yeah.
Maybe good. I don't know.
It's fun.
It's
fun to watch. I never felt the need to watch it a bunch of times, though.
I've seen it twice. I remember the second time falling asleep during it, but I remember really liking it the first time.
Yeah.
The Dawn of the Dead remake...
Oh, I thought it was all right.
I loved it. I've seen that multiple times, and I think that is a great movie.
That's Zack Snyder?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's his first big movie.
That opening was really good. Not the opening weekend. I mean, like the opening, 10, 20 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great. The only thing that's weird about that movie is the zombie baby. I didn't really.
I think it was just,
that's a
trying
writing misfire, though. I don't think that's his fault by any means.
Yeah, it's trying too hard to be like, oh my god, what's that?
Yeah. So then after that, everything he does after that, I'm just not a fan of. I'm going to defend one movie of his that everybody else hates. I liked Sucker Punch.
I didn't watch all of that.
You're probably going to hate it.
Okay.
I've never met anybody else that liked it, and I only like it as a guilty pleasure.
Okay.
You know, like the comedy in this movie, I like the overt comedic parts, and I hate intended overt, the obvious comic relief stuff, and that's why the show Fringe that had that with friggin' Walter,
yeah.
It's like in between every commercial break, there's going to be some kind of a comic relief. In this, it's the Flash. Unfortunately, it's like that. I wonder if that actor read the script and was like, okay, so I'm that guy in this movie, because it's not his fault. It's the writing, I guess, and the directing can highlight it, both the good points and bad points. There were funny parts, but none of them were from what was meant to be funny, I guess is what I'm meaning.
It wasn't organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even mind it when Aquaman, even though I don't really like Jason Momoa, but that thing with the lassos on him, and he was initially like, yeah, fuck the world, but actually I do kind of care about everybody a lot, and it's that was kind of
that was all right.
funny.
That was funny.
That was okay.
Yeah.
That was actually no. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I did. I chuckled at that.
Nobody really knew why. At first, the effect was, I felt the effect of that probably as it was intended.
Yeah. That one worked
Yeah.
because initially you're like, man, this guy's kind of an asshole, and then you're like, oh, he's not an asshole. But then he gets to Wonder Woman, and he's like, yeah, and you, just man. It's like. That was great because initially you're like, dude, settle down.
And then you realize afterwards that she first like, man, I feel bad for her. She's being so kind of harassed right now. But she did it.
Yeah.
She brought that on herself on the rest of it. That's why she's just laughing about it. Oh, okay, this I guess I should have seen this one coming.
She. I'm not sure. They didn't really make it clear whether or not she intentionally had. Well, he was she put it under his butt or something, or if he just didn't look before he sat down. I'm not sure. I think she knew he was sitting on it the whole time.
Oh,
she probably right.
She definitely did because
because she was just standing there smiling at him like.
who was it that pointed it out to him? Batman.
I think Batman. Yeah.
And she you saw that look on her face yeah, and she yanked it back real fast.
She also didn't go oh, that's where I put that. I totally forgot.
Right. No, that was definitely intentional.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You are.
He did a great job acting that too. It's coming off as
the acting was great.
Yeah.
It was. I think that I would staunchly support all of these actors. I think they went above and beyond for this writing. I really do. Going back to writing, though, just so cringy, at least in my opinion.
Oh yeah, a lot of the serious lines were bad.
Well, not only that,
I almost spoke out loud a couple of the lines before they fucking came out.
But I mean, just a very small thing, but a very telling thing of how garbage the writing is they call each other by their superhero names.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
After, like, okay, if we had podcast names, like if everybody knew you was Iceman, I would never call you Iceman. I'd call you fucking Jared.
Jesus
all right?
Christ. Yeah.
If Dan was known as Mustachioed Strongman over there, okay, if that's his podcast name, I wouldn't go, Mustachioed Strongman, help me get home. I would say, hey, Dan, I need a ride. And that's what Marvel does. Nobody calls Iron Man Iron Man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they don't use any of their... Yeah, sorry.
Fuck.
Yeah, sorry I farted.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that was going to be so potent. That's my fault. Sorry.
You literally just created
Blow
a
it over this
superhero.
way.
It's going that way.
That's like something my mom would say. Well, I'll blow it over this way. Minute, you're absolutely right. Not when do superheroes call themselves by their superhero names? Only whenever there are like civilians around when they can't,
Right, and just they're all just hanging out with the one bad guy that they're gonna kill, and you're just like, Batman, I need you to do a backflip, and Superman, please fly over. Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up.
Because the code names are essentially, it would be like if we were all like, if we were, I don't know, like human 1, human 2, human 3, in case we had like a mission or something, we couldn't say our real names. Like that's why it's like, yeah, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would make sense because they're like monosyllabic. And so
Right.
instead of saying Jared, if I could just call you 5,
Right.
I might be like 5.
Yeah.
But not when
they-
your name is Clark and you say Superman. You're spending too much time doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Especially when half your team doesn't wear masks anyway.
Right.
Yeah, that was weird too. When he's like freaking out,
Yeah.
Superman, and he's just like in the middle of the city.
Standing around, not in the Superman suit,
Not in the
just as Clark Kent with no shirt on.
Yeah, I was like, kind of like nothing was ever came of that.
Like if the cop was like, boop, hey buddy, this is what Superman looks like. And then the internet would be like, and then somebody at the fucking Daily Planet, that's a newspaper, by the way, that has somebody who's on the internet probably all the time looking at stuff, is like, oh hey, that's Clark.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
wait a minute.
wait, that's not Superman, that's Clark. Oh my god, Clark is Superman. Oh my god.
Oh my
It would take 5 seconds.
I can't believe that if the world is so stupid that they can't tell that Superman is Clark Kent.
Dude, Clark Kent wears glasses. It's
Right?
This is a whole different conversation.
I'm sorry.
Right.
It is.
I
It
mean,
is.
that's
It
like
is.
some
But
level
you know
of
what
stupidity.
really aggravates me, what really chaps my ass about this
Yeah.
is at the beginning they even reference that those kids have a podcast, and he says, okay, it's internet related.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Superman comes in with his big bouncy tits just everywhere, and it's obviously Superman, and
Yeah.
there's police, and then all of the Justice League. Wonder Woman's there, who, like, everyone's like, holy shit, Wonder Woman exists. Batman fucking shows up. Everybody.
Yeah.
And they just start destroying this city.
There was
Again.
like, there was also like 2 cops there,
Yeah.
and like nobody else around. They were
Yeah.
in like the middle of the city in the day.
Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
the fuck was there no one even on the sidewalk?
Also,
like, nobody was
why-
around at all.
All right, now let's this is snowballing. Also, why the fuck is there still a Kryptonian ship just sitting in the middle of Metropolis? Like the government would have taken that shit to Area 51 or somewhere.
Obviously.
Put it on the fucking moon. It's clearly dangerous.
Well, how many days had it been since his death?
I don't know, enough that people built a bunch of statues and shit. Like there was buildings that were erected to his memory.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that whole fucking building
That's
was
true.
like there was like a massive skyscraper, like a Superman skyscraper.
Oh, I didn't realize.
So this is, I mean, it's got to be.
They definitely had that statue of him.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that was destroyed though.
Yeah.
in the last movie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like they built a fucking statue.
Right. Well, yeah.
no,
but
But I'm saying
Was
how,
that built-
That was before.
That was before he died.
Yeah, that was after he killed Zod. But no, in the beginning of this movie, there's that huge skyscraper with this. It's like an S and shit, right?
See,
I
to
don't
me,
know.
I thought that skyscraper was fucked up. I thought it was fucked up.
Same thing. Like, because
Yeah.
again, I didn't see the last movie, so I thought maybe that was like a battle scar from when
Me
he was
too.
fighting.
I don't-
That's what I thought. Also,
I don't know, because I thought it was just like a stylized.
it would
building.
seem weird that they would have like this rubble and fucked up stairs going to this monument, but have built a giant skyscraper. I thought that skyscraper like Greg was just saying. It was like battle scarred.
I don't know. We'd have to watch it again.
Anyway,
Not
yeah, I'm
willing to
not
do that.
doing that.
No, that's never happening.
No.
Yeah.
But
So there's a giant alien spaceship. They're fighting a cartoon character the whole time, which I hated.
Yes.
He looked like fucking like Snoke from Star Wars.
terrible.
Terrible. Fucking terrible.
The CGI was just.
Holy shit.
I would give it a 2 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 0. It's just he looks like it looks like it's from like 2002.
It was bad.
It was bad.
Really bad.
the CGI was really. I mean, I could overlook so much in this movie, but that CGI is finally what just dragged me out of it and was like.
He
This
moved
is-
around like shit. He moved like so clunky.
Filmmakers put way too much faith in CGI.
Yeah, a lot. Well, a lot of them do. Some of them do just the right amount.
Many filmmakers put way too much
Yeah.
faith in CGI. Yeah, that's what I mean to say. I
Also,
guess.
why is it so shitty? Like, why is DC's CG always so
It's
fucking bad? Like, Marvel's isn't that bad.
No, the Hulk looked all right in
Yeah.
Thor.
Well, like, even, like, Guardians 2, when they CG'd young, what's his name?
Oh yeah, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I was like, God damn, that looks good. Because
Yeah.
the Star Wars that we just watched a month or two before that, with Princess Leia
At the
looking
end,
all
oh my
cross-eyed and goofy. That was fucking terrible. But, like, they're not that far apart in time. Like, it's not like the technology took a huge leap.
Yeah,
And it's not like Star Wars didn't have the budget for it. Or
Yeah.
anything.
yeah. No, it's a matter of like hiding it and disguising it and not focusing on it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like if you're not like directly focused on the CG, you don't even fucking notice. Like there's a ton. Thor had a ton of CG in it. But
Yeah.
a lot of it's like either flying by really fast or like Hulk, for example. There weren't a whole lot of like close-ups on Hulk's face.
Right.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's like Hulk's speaking from like a distance, or you know, like other people. There's like a lot going on or something, so it doesn't look unnatural, really.
All right, we're gonna have to wrap this one.
Sorry, bud.
What's wrong with your asshole over there?
I don't know, man.
Some
I'm
of
not
that Greg nog.
That's a great knock running right through me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the animation was terrible.
Yeah, animation. I think that the one thought that I had during it when they were like, "Oh, Superman, you know, so much a part of us, now he's gone." Like I've talked to this, the antithesis of this, where I've like applauded like Logan. Where like you've lived with this character for so long, and then he dies. Instead, you know, the Star Trek thing. Just like they're trying so hard to catch up. They're like, "Oh, this beloved character." You know, it hasn't been on the block for that long.
Right.
Like, when did this actor first portray that character? A few years ago? That's nothing. At most. It was, when did Man of Steel come out? 2012?
I don't know.
I don't know.
2011, 2012, something
Okay.
You're
like
only
that.
looking at 2 movies.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you don't really
Right.
care that much about, especially since in he wasn't likable in the second movie almost at all.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't
Who?
Superman.
Superman's. He hasn't been likable in Man of Steel.
Well,
In the
say-
first one, I liked him.
I liked him. I liked the movie.
Yeah, Man of Steel
he
was
is
good. But I just mean, like, there's not a long-term, they're not thinking like long-term investment. They're just like seeing what the other, you know, what the other kids on the block are doing and saying, well, I could do that too, and just trying to catch up. I mean, I'm not saying anything that the rest of you haven't already said, but it's this movie didn't make me forget about that at all. It's still there. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. That's all.
That's how the comedy felt for me, because they did a bunch of reshoots for this to make it funnier, apparently, and like that's what a lot of those jokes
Well, that
felt
was
like to me.
when what's his name came on.
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, Whedon came on after what happened with Zack Snyder. His kid died.
His kid committed suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably because of Batman vs Superman.
I was gonna say silver linings. At least he didn't see this.
Dang.
I was going to make an Avatar joke.
Those are 3 really good jokes. Damn.
How was this kid?
I don't know.
Old enough to realize that Zack shouldn't be directing.
4 really good jokes.
God damn, man! Zack Snyder's taking it real hard right now.
That deserves a noob.
Man,
Damn.
I don't know. No one's gonna complain. We were so racist last podcast. We didn't get shit about that.
yeah.
I can't believe we didn't catch any flack for
So
that.
I know. I said the Jews were idiots. Nobody said anything. Who cares if I hate Zack Snyder's kid? Whatever.
So Zack Snyder's probably not going to share our episode then.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Or maybe he will. I don't know.
I don't know.
You know, he'd be a real good sport if he did. You hear that, Zach?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on record and say, listen, if he does, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Let's get this out of the way now.
Yeah. All right. Oh, man. All right, so I think that's about enough for ragging on this fucking movie.
Would you see it again?
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want. Would you see it again, Chris? Jer?
No.
Greg?
Gal Gadot. Maybe.
With
Dan?
the sound off.
And porn on the other
Voluntarily, no.
screen. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say if it's on television, I'd probably wait for one of the parts that I kind of enjoyed and then shut it off after that.
You know what? Positive. It's probably a good hangover movie.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
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 Like if it's on TNT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
fair.
I'm like I have a garbage can in front of me, and like I'm dry heaving, and it's like a little bit yellow. It's coming up, and I'm like I'm not moving anywhere. And I'm like I'm waiting for somebody to deliver food, or I'm waiting Gatorade or something.
It's like when you're sick, like some stuff that's like really like gross whenever you're not sick is like acceptable when you are sick. Like I'll drink like hot Jello when I'm sick.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't do that. Like if I have a sore throat or something to like soothe my throat, and it's like kind of like comforting in some weird way. My mom used to do that for me, and then like so I wouldn't do that normally. I'm not gonna be like, you know what? I really feel in the mood for a cup of warm Jello right now. So Batman Superman, perfect movie for when you're fucked up and not in the way that's pleasant.
So weekend TNT movie.
And not a good one. Like
I want to watch this movie with Jeff Goldblum playing the Grandmaster.
Jeff Goldblum.
Like,
Wow.
like him sitting next to me, but acting as that character.
On your couch, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Thor again.
Oh, yeah. I might actually see it again. It's so great.
By the way, speaking of TNT, rest in peace, Malcolm Young. Just heard today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just somebody texted me. I didn't check on the internet for it, but I assume it's true because I knew that
No, it definitely happened.
Oh,
wow.
was he?
I don't know how old he
Gotta
was.
be pretty old.
64? 60? No, not that old. 64 or something. 63 maybe.
Huh.
Well,
Dang.
Well, that's depressing.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for listening. That was episode 46. You make sure to find us at grownuphumans.com, epicastnetwork.com/grownuphumans. Epicast does a lot of great stuff. They helped a lot of artists do their own podcasts and things like that. So
Shout out to Buzzy Real. I don't think we've ever shouted out Buzzy.
yeah, shout out to Buzzy. Buzzy's fucking awesome. Nick does a lot of stuff over there too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
shout out to Nick. And what else? Oh yeah, check us out on social media. Just Grown Up Human Comic People. Type it in, you'll find it. Thanks for listening. Let's go around the table and say adieu. Chris, J-Man,
See ya.
Greg,
Until next time.
Dan.
good night.
I'm Jared. We'll see you guys later. Thank you for listening.
Grownup human comic people. Grownup human comic people.
Epicast.